My name is Samad Tolukbay. I'm a journalist, researcher, and descendant of great nomads. My ancestors had wandered through these steppes for centuries, followed their herds in search of the best pastures. The cattle was always their main capital. What are they now? The descendants of the great cattle breeders. The school of nomads, studying the past, creating present in order to build the future. Perhaps the heart of any Kazakh will stir from the clatter of hoofs, the flight of the golden eagle, or the sight of a hound dog, tazı. It doesn't matter whether it's urban or rural. After all, when we talk about our people, we always mention the hunting craft of nomads, and the faithful horse, and the predatory golden eagle, and the fast tazı became the property of the culture of my people. Today, like a real descendant of nomads, I will learn to tame a wild stallion and try hunting with birds of prey. Yes, you heard right. All these values are preserved and continue their development in the 21st century. Our art of hunting is reviving by young people from the Topzhergan Ethnocultural Center. And you know, I am just happy to meet such wonderful people. Hello. Welcome. How are you? We are fine. How are you? Thank you. My name is Samad. I'm Gabit. Nice to meet you. I study the culture of nomadic peoples. I follow in the footsteps of my ancestors. Today I have come to you in order to take a closer look at the most ancient activities that you are reviving today. You tame horses, work with birds of prey. Would you like to teach me? Of course, let's try. Today we have a plan to quiet two young stallions. We have to put them under the saddle. Guys are strong. All of them are engaged in horse riding from early childhood and have tamed not one obstinate horse. Today's stallions are 5 years old. All this time they lived on pastures, had their own shoals and were free. And we will tame them. You know, I am well kept in the saddle, even if I grew up in the city. But trying to ride a wild stallion is still a challenge for me. Can I just watch the professionals? All peoples whose lives are connected with cattle breeding are engaged in taming the obstinate horse. This action is really exciting. This is a real battle with tactical moves. Nomadic tribes from the earliest times tamed horses, camels, yaks, and therefore for centuries have increased, in this case, a gigantic experience. The taming of an obstinate horse is not like a cock-park or horse racing. There are no specific terms and conditions. Because initially, this action was not a game, but was a necessary condition in the life of nomads. 6,000 years ago, it was in these steppes that a man first tamed a horse, and for many centuries, an amazing act, taming a stallion, became the property of a nomadic civilization. Taming a horse is a craft for strong and, of course, courageous people. A rider should not only be well prepared physically, it is important to be sure that you are psychologically stronger than an unbridled animal. After all, it is not at all easy to conquer the stallion, who before grazed freely and was a leader. Gabid, I realized that the horseman must be able to handle the lasso first and deftly throw a loop. Yes, this is a must. Is this a simple lasso? We call lasso with loop. I got it. Yes, this is a special rope, weaved with a bull's skin. The length must be at least 7 kulash. What is it like? 7 kulash is 7 meters. Like the unit of measurement. Yes, this is an old Kazakh word. Now we used to say meter. Another feature of such lasso is that if a horse drags a horseman, such a rope will not wipe his hands off. Therefore, it is always weaved of leather. As it turned out, today throwing a lasso with a loop became even a game. Now, teach me to reel and throw. Everyone throw convenient for him. It's easier for me to assemble the lasso in the 8. So when we throw, we must remember that the horse will be a few meters away from you. Therefore, here we take about 3 meters. At the moment when you throw a loop, you should approach the horse to meet a couple of steps, then you will hit the target exactly. That is, it is necessary to calculate the speed of the animal. I got it. Should I figure this out? Yes, it is necessary. Here you leave a few centimeters. How to throw, how to make it so that to catch a horse. We twist like this. On the second lap we throw. Here it is necessary to calculate while the horse gallops. Let's try. Show it again. That's the way you make a circle. Not too big, otherwise the horse might get confused. And if it is a small ring, you will not get. Then do like this, 8. Do not get confused. No, thanks to its own weight, the lasso will not get mixed. But you have to calculate everything. You can keep it up like this. And here, I keep like that. Yes, with one hand. Try to untwist. In the second round, throw. Like this. See? You hit. Yes. To begin with, you should throw a loop on the stake or on the hand of your partner. Having mastered this exercise, it will be possible to train already on 1-year-old foals. Because an inexperienced tamer, such as someone like me, is unlikely to be able to immediately cope with an adult stallion. But I kind of learned how to throw loops, and yet decided not to risk it and gave way to professionals. And now the real brave souls will be engaged in taming the spirit of stallions. They surrounded the horses and the wild animals rushing around in one part of the paddock. I even felt sorry for them. Sometimes it turns out that in despair, the stallion can jump over even a high concrete wall. Then the free horse will have to be caught in the endless steps. As a rule, a certain age from which you can tame a horse does not exist. For example, having performed the circumcision ceremony, the boy's parents would make him sit on a young stallion and lead around the aul, so that the newly made Muslim would personally accept congratulations from the villagers. For such a procession, a 6-month-old stallion was trained. For example, look at this boy. He is still a child, but he is already trying to cope with a 1-year-old foal. Of course, the young stallions are easier to tame, and it is very difficult to train stallions that have grazed freely. It takes a couple of weeks to tame such obstinate stallions. The real fight comes after the loop is thrown around the neck of the stallion. The rider must be careful when he sits on the horse. These are the most important minutes. In no case should a Jibek fall from his horse. The stallion will consider this a victory, and later, when he is already tamed, he will take into the habit of bending his neck in order to get rid of the rider. Here, after a long bout, both stallions accepted their defeat. Now you should put all your equipment on the horse. It is important to firmly tighten the girth. Then the rider will teach the horse to the saddle. For today the training is over. The horses are tamed. Of course, this is not the final result. Work just started. Further, the animals will be accustomed to the bit. An obstinate horse can be tamed by any obstinate horse, say horse breeders. Therefore, among the people they say about a bold Jibek, able to curb a stallion. Brave Kazakh guys consider this craft an art with definite aesthetics. After all, quite a few spectators gathered to tame a stallion. In the process of restraint, the strength, the will of the spirit, and the skill of the horseman were noted. So I got acquainted with the basic methods of taming horses. The meet was an unforgettable sight. I can only congratulate the riders. In order to protect the horse's performance from possible damage and injuries, foraging is necessary. That is why it is important for the breeders of these animals to know how to shoe a horse, how to choose the horseshoe correctly, and what tools should be used. Tell me more about horseback riding. This is a horseshoe made by a blacksmith. We can say handmade, forged from iron. And this horseshoe is lighter, suitable for running horses. That is this horseshoe poured at the factory. That's right. This is a horseshoe of factory production. Horseshoes are of two types: studded, designed for winter time. They improve the adhesion of the hoof to the ground and prevent slipping. The rest of the time, they forge a horse with ordinary horseshoes. The blacksmith should certainly carry out such a responsible procedure, because the subtleties in this matter concern even the nails with which horseshoes will be nailed. Here, before all the necessary tools, you can probably start. It seems more or less understood. Now, let's get started. What horseshoe we take? Let's take this, black one. Let's start. In this process, the way you hold your horse's foot is important. Therefore, so far I've decided not to participate in the process, but to observe the procedure from the outside. There are certain signs in the blacksmiths regarding horse forging, so the Kazakhs are trying not to conduct this procedure on Tuesday. I do not know what it is connected with. Favorable for forging days are Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. Even horse breeders do not water the animal before forging. They say that the hooves may crack in the process. The first step is to trim the hoof, cut down the irregularities. Horseshoe nails are slightly curved. Here the main thing is to hammer a nail in order not to injure a horse. And so, one leg is ready. Now I can also take part in the process. First, with such a huge nail file, I cut irregularities with the hoof, and after, hammering nails. I admit, it was scary. After the nail was hammered, its upper part should be cut off. If the horse behaves calmly, then the forging is correct. After the procedure, you should move the animal for some time. If the gait of a horse is confident, you can be calm. The forging was successful. If you remember, I promised to introduce you to other types of activities that hunters nomads were engaged in. I want to know more about hunting with birds and about the same hunting dogs, Tazı. Gabit, tell me first about the golden eagles. After all, this bird of prey is depicted on our flag. How to tame a golden eagle. Berkuts are of two kinds. A prick, that is a tamed. This is an erkut, which the berkutçi took from the nest and nestled and raised it himself. And there are golden eagles, which were trapped, already being adults. First of all, the golden eagle needs to love, and one should show its love, stroke the bird, speak with it, feed it from the hand. But first, they keep it on a leash. They don't feed it for some time. Only then, the tired bird should be fed, and it is necessary to caress it. Golden eagle, this is the largest eagle, belongs to the family of hawks. It dwells mainly in the mountains, nests on the rocks. It is also possible to meet it on the plains. Berkutçi hunting is one of the most developed crafts of nomads. According to historical data, Juchi Khan had an army of golden eagles with 3,000 eagles. And today, I will get acquainted with this ancient craft, which my ancestors were engaged in. To become a good hunter, it is necessary to deal with the golden eagle. To begin with, you should accustom the bird to fly into your hand. Then you can let the golden eagle on the bait. As a rule, this is a fox skin, and after the predator can already be put on a live rabbit. And now we proceed to the first level of training. I run, and Gabit is calling the golden eagle. On the first try, it is a great flight, and it flew to the right place. Now it's my turn to call our golden eagle. I admit, I'm a little scary. Besides, the clothes are of a dangerous color. I hope it will not attack me. Go! Wow, what a fine fellow you are! Having learned how to get a golden eagle to your hand, you should start training your predator with the help of a bait. This is a fox skin, which the rider will drag on the ground at high speed. The task of the golden eagle is to catch a scarecrow. Each flight should be encouraged and feed the bird with his hand. So during a real hunt, without even catching prey, the golden eagle will return to the owner. After all these exercises, it was the turn to launch the predator bait. Gabit grows here such rabbits on his farm. Frankly, I feel uneasy. I tried to offer the berkutçi to refuse from this exercise, but according to the hunter, this is a necessary condition to teach a golden eagle. Only in real conditions will a pet train its dexterity, strength and speed. Well, we'll see. Forgive me, rabbit. To my great joy, our golden eagle missed. With a little hunt, the bird flew this time. Probably from the fact that in the previous exercises, I honestly overfed the predator. And I think I did the right thing. I'm very glad that this rabbit is still alive. You're lucky. Live and be happy. Do you know that there is a good nutrition for golden eagles? For example, when he drops feathers, he needs a strong diet. Then, we feed him fresh meat with blood. And when a pet needs to be in shape, he should be periodically fed well-washed meat. It is without blood, which means that the energy value in it is lower. Berkut eats while losing weight and returns to normal life. He becomes easy and must constantly experience a little hunger. Then he is ready for the hunt. It is easy to fly purposeful. Are these special dishes? Yes, it is made of wood, and it is necessary to keep it clean. Let's feed. Watching Gabit and his eagle, I realized that working with a bird of prey is a whole science. By the way, all over the world the eagle could be tamed by only nomads. Other nations also hunt with birds of prey, but more often with smaller species, such as falcons, peregrine falcons, or hawks. For the centuries-old history of the domestication of golden eagles, our people had quite a few legends and real stories. For example, like a hunger, a golden eagle saved an entire village from death. Another inhabitant of the Great Steppe, and also a faithful helper in the hunt, is the Saker falcon. Gabit, how do you hunt with this bird? Berkut relate to the family of hawks, and the falcon Coloin. Unlike the golden eagle, the falcon does not cover its prey, but knocks it down. And then the falcon is a very hardy bird. It tolerates cold and heat. My falcon name is Black Sword. It is a baby bird and is just learning. Falcon is one of the top 5 fastest birds on the planet. As it turned out, the Black Sword is flying for the first time in open space today. He has not yet flown long distances, and therefore is circling and even running for the time being next to the owner. He is still very young. Gabit has become his father and mother. Watching them, I felt true love between a bird and a man. A day in the Ethno Center flew by. You can talk about the hunting art of nomads for a long time. It's a pity. Today, I didn't have time to show you all the beauty of one more property of our people. These are the hounds of Taze. So there's an excuse for me to come visit Hunter Gabit again.